welcome to this weather forecast. In this forecast, we're going to be talking about the slight risk for getting severe weather down there in Alabama, Mississippi, and also Louisiana. So that's going to be the topic of today's video. So guys, the Storm Prediction Center issued their Day 2 convection outlook, and as you could see, we're at a slight risk in the areas of Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi, and portions of Louisiana. So if you live in those areas that I just previously mentioned, you should be looking at a slight risk for getting severe weather. Remember, with these severe weather threat, we're looking at the potential for getting tornadoes. With our tornado threat, we're looking at that 5% risk of getting very bad tornadoes. With our damaging wind threat, we're looking at that 15% chance of getting very damaging winds that could be coming with the potential for some damages with the amount of wind that could be coming with this severe weather threat. Looking at our hail threat, we're also sitting at that 15% risk of getting hail in the areas of Tennessee, Mississippi, portions of Alabama, and also portions of Louisiana. So if you live in those areas, you're at a 15% chance of getting some very bad hail, and also areas in the brown, you should be looking at the potential for getting some hail. So you guys should be looking at this threat as we continue to get into the next 48 hours or so, because the weather conditions could be deteriorating. And remember, our main threat that is coming with this is the potential for getting tornadoes. As we all know, there could be some very bad tornadoes that could be spawned by this slight risk for getting severe weather. So I urge you guys, if you're in the marginal risk anywhere in the area for slight severe weather, you should be paying attention to the weather, as it might be deteriorating within the next 48 hours or so. I advise you guys to please pay attention to the weather in the areas that I just previously mentioned. So if you live in Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Birmingham, Alabama, Jackson, Mississippi, Huntersville, Alabama, those areas are in that slight risk for getting severe weather. So if you live in New Orleans, Louisiana, Atlanta, those areas, Georgia, but Louisiana, you should be looking at the potential for getting severe weather. Please pay attention to the weather. If you live in Montgomery, Alabama, if you live in those areas, you should be looking at the potential for getting some severe weather. We're looking at that marginal risk as of now. We're not at enhanced risk, but there is a potential for us to get some, just maybe. I'm not saying that we're definitely going to get at that enhanced risk, but as of now, we're sitting at that marginal risk. If we by chance somehow get to that enhanced risk, we should be looking at the potential for getting even more bad weather. So you guys should be paying attention to the weather. Now we're going to switch over towards latest forecast models on this, because we need to see and time out how this severe weather threat could be developing within the coming days. So guys, mainly our threat is going to be on January 1st. So guys, you could see in those areas, especially Tennessee, you could see the storm moves in from the west, and you could see that this storm system is a very organized storm. So you could see with these very organized storms, these tend to bring a lot of severe weather threat. And you can see in the areas, mainly in the areas of Kentucky, the areas of Tennessee, and also in the areas of Alabama and Mississippi, you can see that there's a lot of moisture, and it seems that the atmosphere might be favorable for severe weather at that time. So you can see here, behind that, there's a lot of snow in the areas that just north of Texas, and those areas you should be getting on a potential snowstorm within the next 90 hours or so. So this is on January 1st. So you could see that there's a lot of storms in those areas that I just previously mentioned. So you guys should be paying attention to the severe weather threat as it continues to develop. As I said, it could be bringing the potential for getting some very bad tornadoes that could be coming with this threat. So I advise you guys to please pay attention with the weather, as it could be deteriorating within the next 48 hours or so if you live in the areas that I just previously mentioned. So you could see the storm system is expected to move in sometime around January 1st. Between now and January 1st, you should be expecting this severe weather threat. So I advise you guys to please pay attention, because currently we're at that slight risk, and just like that, we could get that in an enhanced risk. I'm not saying that we're definitely going to get at that enhanced risk anytime, but there is the potential. So we should be paying attention to this, guys, within the next coming days. I advise you guys to please pay pay attention to the weather in the areas of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and mainland Tennessee. So stay safe out there, and thank you guys for watching.